What's going on, everyone? So tonight the Lakers have another game against the Sacramento Kings. I am excited. I am looking very forward to it. Obviously, I want to continue to see what are the growths, what are the pros that we can continue to use that to build towards the season. What are the cons that we need to work on and continue to improve on so that way we can get ready for this long, grueling season and then eventually the playoffs. Now, LeBron James is going to be out of this game. I don't think that that's a real shocker to anybody. LeBron isn't going to play every one of these games. I wouldn't even be surprised if Anthony Davis sits out for a game or two. Even if he does continue to play, it'll be very limited as we've seen. You want to keep everyone fresh. You want to keep everyone ready. That last game or two before the season, the last preseason games, that's when I think the Lakers will kind of have everybody going, kind of use those as the dress rehearsals for their matchup against the Denver Nuggets. And, I cannot wait for that Denver game. But regardless, not so much about the wins and losses, as I've mentioned. It's about what are we seeing? What are the good things that we can build on? What are the cons that we need to continue to improve on? And so far, we've seen a little of both. But with LeBron out, there's the question of who is going to get the starting nod this night, right? Jared Vanderbilt was out with a heel injury against the Brooklyn Nets, and we saw Taurean Prince step in and kind of play that starting role, and he was fantastic, especially after a really bad, rough game in Game 1. Really gave us the bounce back. Now, obviously, the most reasonable and likely answer is Rui Hachimura, or go with Jared Vanderbilt and keep Taurean Prince in the starting lineup and kind of see how that looks, right? Preseason's about experimenting, right? Trying different looks, get different sets out there, experiment with different lineups, how do these guys look? How does this guy look with these guys? So on and so forth, right? And you could go with Taurean Prince at the 4 if you wanted to in replace of LeBron, and then go with a Jared Vanderbilt. We've already seen Rui Hachimura and Jared Vanderbilt start. Maybe they go and look, what does Taurean Prince and Rui look like? What does Taurean Prince and Jared Vanderbilt look like with the rest of the starters, especially if D'Lo and Reeves and AD play? That could be something that's really interesting because LeBron James is going to miss a certain amount of games this year. We'll see. I also think LeBron James is going to pace himself to play at least 65 games just because, he wants to get all the accolades that come with playing the NBA season, and you need to hit that milestone. But I wouldn't mind if they started Rui or Vando or both. We'll see if Vando is available for this game, at least at the time of recording. There's no information in that regard. But I personally would like to see them go with Jaxson Hayes, right? Jaxson Hayes has been really good for the Lakers, surprisingly good. He's been a plus 19 on the court for the Lakers and has fit in very well. You already see that built-in pick and roll chemistry with Jaxson Hayes and D'Angelo Russell, and Anthony Davis and Jaxson Hayes starting alongside each other could be very interesting. Just use this game as a little look, right? LeBron's out, shift AD to the 4, play Hayes at the 5, and let's get a solid look at that. Let's get a fair amount of minutes with AD and Hayes and kind of see if Hayes can continue to grow and develop. He's been really solid defensively. He hasn't been perfect. He has his flaws, but that's expected. But for the most part, his energy has just been contagious. His ability to just constantly be a threat at the rim is massive. You see all these teams kind of looking over their shoulder constantly as Hayes is behind them because they're worried about that lob, especially with D'Lo and Reeves and, if LeBron's on the court and things like that. Kind of give AD what he wants for a game and see how does that look, right? What if it's fantastic? What if they're just dominating together, right? I mean, we've seen Hayes and AD a court, it's looked solid in the time that we've gotten, but it's all been very small sample sizes, right? So let's say AD plays 12 to 15 minutes tonight, right? I would love to see those 15 minutes be alongside Jaxson Hayes and just kind of give us a look. How does that look? What does it look with Jaxson Hayes and Anthony Davis with the starters? But what does it look with Jaxson Hayes and Anthony Davis with Max Christie and Gabe Vincent at the 1 and the 2, with, Vando or something like that, or Prince or whomever, right? So if, I wouldn't even mind if they kept Prince at the 3. So go D'Lo, Reeves, Prince, Anthony Davis, Jaxson Hayes. I think that that would be a really good starting lineup. I do. And I think that that would be a good matchup against many teams in the league, right? The Sacramento Kings, they're pretty big. Like they got Sabonis down in the middle. So it'd be nice to kind of have AD and Hayes in that regard, kind of match them and be bigger. And then also, teams like Minnesota, like when we play Minnesota, it'd be nice to kind of build that chemistry between Hayes and AD. So that way, when we do have that matchup against a Karl Anthony Towns and a Rudy Gobert, right? Now you can match them size-wise and have that built-in chemistry. So I really do like that idea, especially with Anthony Davis showing that his three-point shot is much improved, right? He's hitting it and looking good. He's looking very confident in his three-point shot. It's not so much about him just taking it. It's like, how does it look? Is he confident when he's taking that shot? Or is he kind of down on himself? Because he's been down on himself the last few years when it comes to taking that shot. Now he's just shooting it with extreme confidence, stepping right into it, no hesitation, no nothing. I'm wide open. Let me pull this. Right? I mean, so much so Darvin Ham has even talked about, like, hey, I want to see AD shoot 6 threes a game. Now, I did a video diving into that. I think that that's just Darvin Ham instilling confidence in Anthony Davis, which I'm totally okay with. I don't want Anthony Davis to fall in love with the three-point shot, but, go with the flow of the game and of the offense, right? If a game calls for you to take 10, take 10. If a game calls for you to take 2, take 2. Whatever it is. Like, I don't want to put I don't want it to be mindful in his mind where he's like, I got to get another 3 threes up so I get to 6. Like, no, play your game. But I really like what we've seen so far from Jaxson Hayes. I really like what we've seen so far from Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis being more assertive, more aggressive. Also would kind of allow Anthony Davis to play in that free safety role, right? Where he can just kind of hang around and be a help defender as well as use his size and length to close out. And he has the quickness to go and catch. So say if they have Harrison Barnes at the 4, right? Well, AD can kind of play that middleman between Sabonis and Barnes, and if they dump it down to Sabonis, AD is long enough, quick enough, and agile enough to get and trap Sabonis, and then if they kick it out to Barnes, he can fly over and alter or block the shot. I'd like to see something along those lines, and look, Anthony Davis has been preaching for that for years now, right? And that was the whole point, right? That was the whole gimmick. Right? Go get some centers that could play alongside Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis improve his three-point shot, and then he could play some power forward more. Well, now we're in that opportunity. Now we're at that crossroad. Let's see what it looks like. If you were ever going to do it, it's right now, right? Preseason, where you can kind of get a feel for it and get a good quality look of it, But yeah, I like the idea, and I think it's something that the Lakers should really consider with LeBron out. At least at the time of recording this video, there is no news on AD, whether he's going to play or not. But even if he doesn't, that's even more of a reason to start Jaxson Hayes. If they don't, let's say LeBron and AD both sit out, then start Jaxson Hayes and start Christian Wood. Right? Let's see what that looks like. I really like what we've seen from Hayes, and he's been a really solid player for the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers are a plus 19 with Jaxson Hayes on the court. And it's just because he's playing a role that is just very natural for him, right? He's doing what he's done basically his whole career. Just be a high energy guy, just rebound. He doesn't need the ball in his hands, right? You don't have to run plays for him or anything like that. He's constantly putting pressure on the rim. No, he impacts the game in numerous ways. He's diving for loose balls. He's, rotating well. He's doing all of the little things and all of the dirty work. And he's a guy that you can put alongside Anthony Davis, you can put alongside Christian Wood, put along LeBron, Rui, Taurean Prince. It's just, and he's just going to go out there and deliver. He's going to work hard. No, he has a lot to prove. He's trying to earn a real career in this league and some stability and longevity. And so he's showing that he has that ability to really impact the game of basketball for these Lakers. And he allows D'Lo and Reeves and LeBron and everybody to kind of do their thing, and he just kind of plays off of them. Being that floor running big and just that constant lob threat. And, he's not a guy that I think is going to be this crazy. I don't think he's going to be, 2010 just absolutely dominating the center position. No, I don't think it's going to be anything like that. I mean, he's 23. He's still a project. Still has a lot of work. But I just think that he's a guy that even the box score isn't going to show the impact that he's had, right? Because he's probably just going to be like a 5-5 guy or something like that, right? But I also think that, like, if you really watch the games, you're going to see him all year just make and do the things that are the difference in winning and losing some games. So, anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree? Like, yeah, put Hayes in there, let him get some work, and see what he looks like. Do you think, play him alongside Anthony Davis? If AD's out, play him alongside Christian Wood, or maybe you go Rui, whatever. Do you think, no, like, kind of stick to the starters that you would usually go with in this situation? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below.